Hi, my name is Greg Fell, I'm Director of Public Health in Sheffield. So the rules keep changing and they may well change again. So this is a short video about what you can and can't do. So things changed from Saturday the 13th of June, Saturday just gone, and some changes came into effect, and you'll see them in Sheffield. So I'll try and explain what they are. So from Saturday just gone, 13th of June, single adults living alone or single parents whose children are under 18 can form a social bubble with another household, one other household. The second household can be of any size. It's important to say nobody who's shielding should join a bubble. And then we'll talk about the rules on social bubbles. They must be exclusive. Once you've made that decision to join one, you can't swap and change and start a bubble with another household. That kind of defeats the point. People in each bubble can visit each other's homes and go inside, and they won't have to stay 2 meters or 6 feet apart and can stay overnight. Anyone in the bubble contacted as part of the NHS test and trace programme must stay at home, and if they develop symptoms, that everyone in that bubble must self-isolate. In an ideal world, this would mean that everyone can have a support bubble option, but that isn't the case. And we know many social and family groups are far more complicated and don't fit into bubbles. So here are some exclusions that mean you can't form a social bubble. Grandparents, if you're single, you could form a bubble with one of your children's households, but you must stick with them. But households of 2 grandparents can't bubble if their children live with other adults. Single parents, you could bubble with a friend, another single parent, or a household with 2 adults. You could use a bubble to arrange unpaid childcare. But if the children at home are over 18, then you can't form a bubble because they're classed as adults. If you already share childcare with your ex, or have to share childcare with your ex during lockdown, you can form a support bubble with another household. If you're single, 2 single people, each living alone, could form a bubble. Someone in a house share could bubble, but those they share a house with won't be able to form other bubbles. And there's more guidance around social bubbles in the links that will come at the end of the video. Then the further changes came into force from today, the 15th of June. Firstly, non-essential retail is reopening, so shops in England will welcome back customers from today for the first time in 3 months, and that includes clothes shops, bookstores, for instance, and lots of others. They'll have to the shop and you will have to operate within the rules that are in place. So here in Sheffield there are some specific issues, and the shopping experience will look different. So I try to visit the town centre or the shopping centre between 9 and 11 or 3 to 5. Those are the quieter times, and it means that we can more safely observe the rules that we've got. You'll probably see digital boards, floor stickers and posters, and the purpose of those is to ensure that some distancing can be observed. Areas such as the mall will have clearways marked out in yellow and separate areas for walking and queuing. If you have any queries, our city centre ambassadors are out there in force and will be on hand to assist and develop with queries or issues as they arise. Free key worker parking ends today in council car parks, so I'm afraid you're going to have to pay once again to park. There's been a significant rise in people cycling and walking. That brings an enormous benefit to the city, and that's fabulous. And we're encouraging people to keep to those positive changes, and we've implemented a variety of measures to make walking and cycling easier across the city. Lastly, on face coverings, if you're using public transport from today, then you must wear a face covering. This is compulsory, it's national guidance, and it is compulsory, and not doing so could risk a fine of up to £100. It doesn't mean you have to go out and buy a face mask. A simple scarf or a bandana is perfectly suitable, and there are some exclusions, and people with certain health conditions, disabled people or children under the age of 11 are exempt from the rules. Lastly, hand washing, hand hygiene remains really important, and as we try and ease into some kind of new normal, we will continue to emphasise the importance of hand washing. We're carrying out additional cleaning in public areas, including the regular sanitising of benches. Hand sanitiser stations will be available across the city centre for you to use, and we just encourage you to please try and avoid touching your face.